Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV and welcome to this preview for tomorrow night's game, which is Everton versus Manchester City. And what we've done for this preview is bring on a couple of Evertonians, one you will definitely know and another you'll meet for the first time. Plus, I've got some backup tonight and that is with my buddy. How are you doing, fella?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yes. Is the sound all right?
The sound's perfect, yeah, I can hear you. It's all good.
Superb. Well, it's me and you versus two Evertonians tonight. So
we'll have it covered, Andy. We've gone through more than these, haven't we?
well, listen. I'm on the Tattinger, so there you go.
Oh.
So it could be feisty.
I'm on a Diet Coke, so anything can happen.
Absolutely. Right. Well, let's bring him in. First one. People on Man City Fan TV will know who he is. Here he comes. Oh, hey, Cal. How you doing, mate?
Hello. I'm good.
Yeah, well, we've got one of your mates on as well. And he has his own YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And this is Mike from Blue Boys Network. So, Mike, how are you, mate?
Yeah, mate, all good. Thanks for having me on. Obviously, it's a bit different when it's not on my channel, if you get what I mean. I've spent a couple of weekends doing away days sort of thing. So thanks for having me on. And yeah, it's going to be a tough game tomorrow for Everton, but it's a game that I'm sure me and Cal are very confident going into, to be honest.
It is. So on to what I have got also for everybody. Obviously, this time of year, we're normally at Goodison, me and Martin, and chatting to Cameron from the Mighty Blues. But unfortunately this year, because of COVID, we're not going to be there. So kindly, Cameron did send us a message because he was keen to come on, but he was busy doing a preview for some other vlog that he was doing. So what I'm going to do before we come into that is I'm going to show you Cameron's video, and then we can chat amongst ourselves about the game tomorrow night. So this is Cameron.
Hello everyone on Man City Fan TV. My name is Cameron. I apologise for the lighting. I've had to stand outside. Andy has kindly asked me to come on and do a little bit of an oppositional preview ahead of the Premier League game tomorrow between Everton and Manchester City at Goodison Park. Obviously, Everton coming into it after 4 straight wins in the Premier League, beating Chelsea, Leicester, Arsenal and Sheffield United yesterday. Second in the Premier League table now, just 3 points behind Liverpool after their draw with West Brom. Really good form recently, taking away that cup defeat to Manchester United, because we'll forget about that. Bouncing back with a fantastic win, and not a great game of football yesterday, but as I said in my reactions to that game, look, those are the types of games that ultimately, you look back at the end of the season when you're winning trophies or you're fighting for the league and you think they're the games we need to win. You mightn't necessarily play well, there mightn't be many opportunities in the games, but ultimately you still come away with the 3 points because you find a way in which to win. And that was that yesterday. Having said that, it's going to be a very difficult game tomorrow, very different type of opposition. Manchester City obviously have got a fantastic squad, and even though they probably haven't been up to standards as some of you might believe this season, still got a fantastic squad and still within touching distance of being right back up, the top of the table. A couple of wins and teams around you drop points and you're right back up there. So it's going to be a very difficult game for Everton. It certainly is. I think squad depth could come into this, to be perfectly honest with you. City's depth is obviously a lot better than Everton's. You've got pretty much 2-3 decent players for every position, whereas we struggle in that. But again, players performed yesterday for Everton. You had the likes of Bernard, who hasn't necessarily been brilliant recently, come on, done really well, changed the game for us. Same with Andre Gomez. Seamus Coleman come off the bench and done really well as well. So I think we're coming into the game with a lot of confidence, and players are performing at a decent level. You've seen Alex Iwobi has stepped it up recently, Gylfi Sigurdsson stepped it up recently, and ultimately, look, it will be difficult. It will be difficult because we're coming up against a very strong Manchester City side. I understand Manchester City have got a few injuries as well, which could ultimately change the game and the way in which the game is played. But again, it's up to Everton to turn up tomorrow, and it's up to Everton to put in another hard work and hard fought performance, because again, it's not going to be easy. and you don't expect it to be easy when you're playing sides like Manchester City. You don't expect to, you know, turn up and absolutely blow them away. But Manchester City this season, I felt, have dropped points against sides that, you know, arguably they should have beaten. And I think that's motivation for Everton going into tomorrow's game, to look at it and think, you know what, we can get at these and we can beat these. Obviously, we haven't got our strongest squad out. We're missing Richarlison potentially. We don't know yet, but potentially Richarlison, Luka Dean, Alan, James Rodriguez. So it's going to be very difficult for Everton to get something out the game. But I think if we can go in with confidence and with our heads held high, and we can get at City and attack their weaknesses, then I think there's every chance of it, as shown, you know, in parts this season. So there you go. Big thanks for watching. Massive thanks to Andy for allowing me to come on the channel. If you've enjoyed this video, please do check us out. It will mean a great deal to me. But big thanks for watching. Up the toffees, you won't want to hear that, but there you go. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
There you go. That's Cam. So he's covered some points on there, which we're going to cover as well, in particular. But right, I'm going to come to Mike first. And my question to both you and Cal was about Everton. And you've done really well so far. Second in the league. I think I said to Cal months ago, I think Ancelotti will do a really good job if he's backed. Yes, so what are your thoughts so far under Carlo Ancelotti?
Do you want to go first, Cal, or do you want me to?
No, to you, Mike. This is your question.
Yeah, so I think Ancelotti's done. You sort of have to look at the whole year that he's been in charge, and this being sort of his anniversary, or yesterday being his anniversary. To take a team like Everton from 15th to 2nd is phenomenal. I could see some of the comments saying about it being flattering, and you know, I can understand why people say that, but you know, Everton have shown this season that when we've needed that grit and fight determination, his mentality shone through into the players, which has been massively positive. And one of the things that Cam, and obviously, guys, make sure you go and subscribe to the Mighty Blues. He's a good lad, Cam. He says, and he said in his post-match review of yesterday, last season Everton don't win that game. Yesterday, we don't do it.
Yeah.
And to see that mentality and that change, it's been quite eye-opening. So I expected Everton to have a good season. Did I expect Everton after 15 games to be second in the league? No, but equally, you know, I didn't expect Man City to have a slow start. I didn't expect Arsenal to be where they are. I didn't expect Man United to be where they are. You know, I expected Everton to be in the top 6 and challenging for the top 4. And touch wood, that's what's happening. But it's been amazing the effect he's had, not just this season, but in the calendar year. And Everton go into every game now with real confidence.
Okay, Cal, can you just move to one side, mate, for me? That's it, that side. Yeah, that's great. Go on, mate, you can have your say.
Just echo what Mike said. It's been absolutely sensational this season for me, because I started watching Everton in 2006-07. I was like 3, and we've never really made a push for top 4 really while I've been watching us. Maybe once under Martinez, but again, we didn't really show enough fight. But this year, like Mike said, there's been 6-7 performances that last under Silva we would have lost. But this year, the mentality from Ancelotti has come through to the players, and we look like a top 7 side. And I know City have that fear, but why can't we go at City? Do you know what I mean? We've beat, in my opinion anyway, the traditional big 6. We've beat 3 out of 6 so far. We drew with Liverpool, so we've took points of 4 of the 5 teams out the big 6 we've played. So it's been a good season. I never envisioned we'd be second in the league, you know, going into the new year. And if we beat yous, obviously it has to be 11-0. But if we beat you 11-0, then we're top of the league going into next year. So, and now being second it's amazing. Even top 4, it's mad. And I know people say that, well, other teams have been bad, but it's a dream.
I think Everton's one of those away grounds that all City fans love going to. It is a great traditional old stadium. I must admit, before when you guys were coming on, I was looking at your results and I was thinking, how have Everton got to where they are? But obviously, you beat Sheffield United 1-0. Obviously, United beat you 2-0 in the Carabao Cup. You beat Arsenal 2-1. You beat Leicester away 2-1 in the Premier League. You beat Chelsea in the Premier League. Then you've had other results where Burnley 1-1. Leeds, you got beat by Leeds. You just beat Fulham 3-2. You got beat by United 3-1. You got beat by Newcastle 2-1. You got beat by Southampton 2-0. You drew with Liverpool, which was a great result always in the derby. You beat Brighton, West Ham, Crystal Palace, and then you beat obviously Fleetwood Town in the Carabao Cup. You beat West Brom, Salford City. It's always a good one. We always like Salford getting beat, and then you beat Tottenham. So looking at it, it's like a real mixed bag. You think, you're getting beat by these teams, but then you're beating other teams, and it's like, really, but you're second. Good luck to you. I think it's amazing. Tom, what are your thoughts on, before we talk about a bit about City as well, which we are going to do, guys, and I'll come to your comments in a minute. But Tom, what are your thoughts on the way Everton have played this season? Or where they are?
Yeah, I was surprised. Obviously, it's a weird season, but I was surprised how quick and fast they started. I was very impressed.
Yeah.
I thought within the first 5 games they were the best team in the league. Injuries have hit them hard, like any other team, and the injuries have caused them problems where the little blip of obviously not having James Rodriguez, Allen, then obviously Richarlison getting suspended in the derby against Liverpool. They've had a bit of a bumpy start, but they're very impressive how they play football, and I think Ancelotti's like taking them up to that new level. And obviously, I know Mike and Cal will agree. Some of the games where they've won 3-2 and maybe tight games a few years back probably wouldn't have ended up as a draw. But Carlo Ancelotti's obviously got them to get the win and fight for the win, which is what they've been wanting to get over the past few years, and I think they've eventually got that. So I think it's work in progress, and if they can maintain the start that they did at the start of the season throughout, the next few games, I think they're definitely able to maintain that spot and even finish top 4 by the end of the season if they keep it in, with that form, and if in and around them other teams don't play as well, obviously, of course.
Right. What I've got to do, obviously, this is Man City Fan TV. I've got to bring up a little shout outs to everyone who's come on. So, Levi Greenwood, how are you, mate? Sachin is on. He's a United fan. Bottle Pool. Dupe's on. Hello, how are you, mate? Charlie Everett's on. Hi. Win our game in hand and we're 3 points behind Liverpool. Joseph, hi, guys. How are you? Come on, the Blues, Liverpool, Drew. Maybe Joseph is. I think Joseph's out of. Messi is not. Oh no, we're not going into Messi tonight, mate. We're just evening, chaps. Noah Pearson's on. Joseph, evening, Noah. So him and Noah there can go up to the Everton Man City thing. Let's see who else is on. John Grogan's here. Where is the Messi announcement? Hype train hit the buffers again. Messi interview comes out 8:20. Yes, I did read some of it today. Hagrid has confirmed Messi to stay at Barcelona until the end of the season. Is that Hagrid from Hogwarts? Not sure. And then he will leave in the summer. Joseph, I want Haaland. If I'm honest, Aguero will retire soon. Sean's on. How are you, buddy? Cameron's on from the Mighty Blues. Hi, Andy. Thank you for having me on once again. Massive game tomorrow. It's going to be a difficult one. It is. Jonas Mossin is on. Hi, how are you? Charlie, is FIFA still at 9? No, I don't know what's happening tonight with FIFA, mate. Maybe another day. Ronnie Beaver's on. Evening all. Leonard's on. Evening, everyone. Andy, how are you, mate? Chris Lindley's on. Not spoke to you for a while, buddy. Hi, Andy. How are you doing? I'm good, mate. Martin is on. I don't know. Chris is on. Tim, I don't know. Chris is Tom Cahill playing tomorrow? I think he means Tim. He's obviously taking the piss. Right. So we've had a look at Carlo Ancelotti. Done a brilliant job so far this season. Question from one of you two, or both of you, for me and Tom, about Man City. And then we'll come to who you think is your standout player so far this season. So what about Man City?
Yeah, you know, Everton have won a lot of games, as Tom mentioned rightly. Everton have won the most games by one clear goal this season. What are you scared of about Everton? And equally, what should Everton be scared of about Man City going into this game? Because Man City seems to have come good or better over the last few weeks. I still wouldn't say you are at full capacity, full potential. You know, are you guys scared going into this game that Everton could turn over Man City, having beaten Chelsea, having beaten Spurs, having beaten Tottenham, Tottenham, etc.? Are you concerned that Everton can turn you over, and what is the weak points?
Okay, well, I'll very quickly. I'll leave this one to Tom. But you've just said there about the fact that you know we've got beaten to Spurs and things like that. Well, you drew with Burnley. We battered Burnley. You got beat by Leeds. We drew with Leeds. You got beat. Oh no, you beat Fulham. Newcastle beat you. We just beat Newcastle comfortably last night. So I think it's one of those. It's a weird. I had no foresight into how the season was going to be. I always said right from the word go, it's going to be a really weird season. Said it right at the beginning. Before it started, I said this is going to be a really, really weird season. And it's turned out to be exactly that. It's a strange season, which is great because it makes it exciting. And you've got loads of other teams in and around. So it makes it, rather than just two teams running away with it and things like that, I think it's brilliant. I actually like it. I'll be honest with you. I haven't watched a lot of football. I've watched City games and that's it. The COVID thing and the empty seats and, you know, no fans in the stadium. It's not for me. So I'm probably the worst person to ask. So I'm going to leave that one to Tom. The Tomster in the corner. Over to you, mate.
Yeah. Well, you know, nerves have always a guarantee, as Andy will agree, when we play against Everton. Over the years, it's been our bogey side for a few years. We've slowly managed to sort of turn that round, so we sort of seem a little bit more comfortable in the past few years. Obviously, last year we beating you 2-0. But there were still times in that game where you could have turned that around, and we were lucky. Ederson pulled out a few good saves. And, you know, you're one of only two teams in the Premier League who still have fans in the ground, which is also another thing that people won't look at when looking at a pre-match. So that could go into your favour there. But other than that, I just see it as any other game. You know, I don't really base it on position in the league and results. I just base it on what's sort of happened over the past few weeks. And I thought, as a team, as a City side, we've looked much more better than we have at the start of the season. So, you know, we've beaten the likes of Burnley and Fulham, not teams that you would consider to say that we're back to the top level. So I think Everton will be the first sort of the challenge after watching you guys play over the past few weeks myself. I think you guys will be the first challenge since we've sort of got everybody back fully fit that we can sort of, you know, understand if there is still a few problems, you know, because you do play good football. And obviously the last time we did play quite an attacking football team, we lost 2-0 in the side of Spurs. So I'm hoping that we can beat you tomorrow, obviously, but it'll be tough, and I am a little bit nervous because always going to Goodison is a difficult task for any side.
It is. The only reason I answer that is because you've beaten us in the last three, but before then, you are right in saying we probably were your bogey side, and that probably goes back 10 years before the even during the takeover. I think for Everton fans, you know, and I was saying it on my channel earlier for my preview, we're confident going up against anyone. We won't attack Man City. We won't sit there and attack you. We'll play a flat back four. We'll let you have all of the ball, and when you're in our half, we'll hit you really quickly. That's how Everton will play. We've had success with the more aggressive, the stronger, the better teams doing that. Where Everton have struggled, and as Andy absolutely spot on said, we've struggled against the Burnleys, the Newcastles. You know, we've struggled against the sides because we've not necessarily known how to play against them. Whereas if we play against one of the teams who are going to have more of the ball than us, we know we just sit back and hurt you on the break. So Carlo has got that right a lot of the times recently. Against Manchester United, he made two fundamental mistakes for me, and them two fundamental mistakes cost Everton the game. But against Man City at home, I just think it depends how your midfield work. If your midfield pivot like they do, and Gundogan's been following in with a lot, he scored 2 in 2 now. If he follows in like he has been, it's massive for Everton, probably Tom Davies or Decore to sit on him, to watch him. Because although he's playing in a deeper role, or maybe playing bang in the centre of that midfield, if we do not sit on him, he's the one who's going to make that charge into the box and make that goal happen. You know, he's that clever person who knows positionally. It's almost like I'm not necessarily concerned about your front line, because I think the way that Everton are played will completely nullify that. It's anything behind it that worries me. And that's going to be Everton's biggest challenge, in my opinion, going into this game. And I think City should have confidence, because if they do a job on Everton's midfield, they'll do a job on Everton. But Everton, when you're a top team going to Goodison, Everton are not a very good, not a very nice team to play. You know, we're not. So we will see.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because I've been to Goodison for the last few away games, and it's always been a tight game. Laporte's header and others. It's always been a very close game. Now, is it true you've got Allen out?
Yeah.
So I think that's a massive miss for you, and we've got the option of obviously Fernandinho, Rodri, Gundogan, one or two of those, with a maybe Kevin De Bruyne. So I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Mike. I think it's going to be whoever wins that midfield battle. But you know that, and every team knows that we will dominate possession. Yeah. And it'll be, is Sergio Aguero going to play? And can we get movement and things like that? Because you've not conceded a lot of goals. But then you've not, saying you've not scored a lot of goals. You've got bloody, is it Calvert-Lewin's got 11 goals already this season?
We're the third highest goal scorers in the league, I believe.
Yeah, which leads me on to my next question, which is, who's been your standout player, Cal, this season?
See, a lot of people are going to say DCL, but for me, he's young. We got him from Norwich for about, I think it was 26 million. It's Ben Godfrey for me, because we knew Calvert-Lewin could score goals. Like, he had a bad end to the season, but that was coming from lockdown. They're different times. No players ever dealt with that. But he was on 15 before lockdown, and he obviously started off well, but I think we expected that. He's 22, 23. I think we kind of expect him to be hitting into that scorer mentality. Richarlison, he's always good. James obviously has been brilliant. But for me, it's Godfrey, because the lad is a centre-half, and I don't know if he's played centre-back for us once since he signed. He's had to play on the right, but he's been playing, I think, the last 4 games on the left, and he's completely nullified the likes of a Kai Havertz, Timo Werner.
a bit like you're playing on the right tonight. Move over a bit. There you go. That's it. Go on.
Like, he has, for me, Ben Godfrey has completely changed the way our defence is, because obviously I think when Digne comes back, he'll kick Godfrey out that role because it's Digne, but we're so vulnerable to a counter-attack when Digne and Coleman are on the fullback positions, because they don't really defend that much.
Do you think Digne will play again for Everton, seeing as though he's come to Man City in January?
You wish. Digne went to you.
Tom, would you have Digne as our left back in January?
100%, yeah.
Rumours are he is coming to Man City in January.
Yeah, well, there you go. He's choosing the other blue side.
Look at those faces.
It won't.
It's like a proper grenade.
It won't happen for various reasons.
He's a good player. He's a very good player.
Yeah, I mean the issue, and Cal's just absolutely nailed it. Sorry to jump in on that question, but Cal's absolutely nailed that. Is a lot of Everton players have improved under Carlo Ancelotti naturally. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, as Cal has said, a lot of people are saying Ben Godfrey, Mason Holgate playing at right back, fantastic. Even Tom Davies yesterday looked like Pirlo for 45 minutes. But
Tom Davies, Pirlo.
Yeah, honestly. But what I will say is some of the players that you expect to be the bigger names at Everton, the Luca Dean, the Richarlison. Actually, Richarlison scored 2 goals this season. Luca Dean, defensively, under Luca Dean, Everton had conceded 24 goals this season. Without Luca Dean, Everton have conceded 1. To get into this Everton side now, I think Carlo's more focused on defence from his back 4 than he is attacking. If Manchester City come in and offered 55 or 50 million pounds for Luca Dean, I'd take it in a heartbeat. But Everton are too stubborn to do that. There's no way Everton will sell Luca Dean to anyone. Carlo Ancelotti. It's not necessarily the board. It's Carlo Ancelotti we'll see as a future rival, because there's no doubt about it. Carlo Ancelotti, Marcel Brands, and Usmanov and Mashiri behind the scenes, they plan on challenging you boys in 2 years' time. They're not going to sell our best players to you like they did. So I think you've got more chance of going and getting Ben Chilwell from Chelsea, who's just signed for them 6 months ago, than you have Luca Dean, who's going to be offered a new contract at Everton.
Well, maybe we'll come back in January, February, or summer, and we'll do another vlog on that. But anyway, that's your standout. Is it Ben Godfrey?
Yeah, definitely. It's either Godfrey or the.
Obviously, Calvert-Lewin. I mean, he's been brilliant. 11 goals.
Yeah, he's class. And his diet, his off the ball work is absolutely phenomenal. And trust me.
The thing he's got to do, though, and this is the thing, and you see this season out. I mean, Cal, no disrespect to you, you're a younger lad and thing. We've seen it for 20 years. We've seen players come along and bang in loads of goals in the first half of the season, and then drift off, and they sort of wilt away and don't do anything. Then he needs to do this now, because from what I've seen of him, I haven't seen a great deal. He looks very excited. He looks, really, really sharp. But he's got to be consistent. He's got to be doing this now. If he's got 11 Premier League goals now, he must get over 20 goals, Premier League goals, by the end of the season. He must do. So if you're getting 11 at this stage, after 13, 14 games, he's got to get 20-plus goals. Because if he doesn't, that's a crap season. It's a garbage season, unless he gets an injury. So he's got to be consistently doing it. But he is a bloody good goal poacher. Really, really good. And, I think it's a great player. But we've got loads of questions, so moving on. Have you got a question for Tom?
Yeah, I was going to ask, who's been, for you, City's best player this season? Obviously, you've got the likes of De Bruyne and your Aguero.
You're asking the wrong person. There's only one player he's going to say.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to pick who you think I'm going to pick. I'm not going to pick. Of course. Wow, my main man. He's done very well this season. But if we're basing it on true performances and the rise of, this player in particular, from his obviously opinions from him last season, I'd give it to John Stones this season personally. I think John Stones has brought passion back into the side. I think he's brought trust into the defence. In the partnership with Diaz and Stones has been absolutely class. And I believe we've seen John Stones revitalise our defence and give us confidence as fans to know that he is a good player and we've got him back. So I'd give it to Johnny Stones personally, because I think from especially last season's discussions of him, will he be going out, to now he's going to might be offered a new contract. It just shows how much he's turned around and how much determination he's obviously had to try and turn it around. And obviously there was an interview with City today where he says that it's a love relationship with us as fans and him as a player. So I'd give it to John Stones.
He's been absolutely, he has since he's come back. We all knew he was a good player when we bought him from Everton. We all knew the talent. But we know that there was off the field stuff. We don't know what that was, but all the reports were that it was off off the field stuff, and it seems now that he's got his head in a good place. Yeah. And I agree, he's been absolutely brilliant since he's come back. Don't know what Cal's doing. Maybe it's because we're talking about John Stones. There you go. Maybe because John Stones is gutted. He's been superb, absolutely superb, almost foot perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
For me, Stones is always that player that when he's got confidence, he's class. Like, he is a really good player. But we saw, and I know Mike will agree, when we had him at Everton, he'd have 5 games where he was our best centre half, and he looked like the quality that he is.
Yeah. He's done that for City, though. We've seen it in City in the previous years, where he's been a run of games, he's been brilliant, and then. But I think this time around, it's matured.
Yeah,
it's got to the age now where Pep's obviously had a chat with him and said, "Look, you could be out. You could be out of this club quite easily. You either get your personal life sorted out, or you're not going to be in this team." And he's come back and he looks so focused. He's been superb.
He's a good player.
I will give a big shout out to Cancelo for Tom. I don't know. I am still. I watched the vlog last night. I'm still a little bit. He needs to be playing those type of games week in, week out. Not have a average game and then a great game. But last night, my man of the match, he was absolutely superb and playing in an 8 role as much as he was as a wing back. He was brilliant. Right. Okay. On to the next question. Mike, where realistically, or what realistically, can Everton win this season, or where do you think they could finish?
I think Everton will probably get to. I think they'll probably get to a quarter final of the FA Cup, and I think Everton will probably finish 5th. I did predict, and Cal might hold me to this because you would have watched this, but pretty sure I predicted Everton would finish 4th, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. John predicted us to finish like 9th, didn't he?
Yeah. So I think Everton will finish. I think Everton will finish 5th, and the only reason I think Everton will finish 5th is because we struggle against the teams we should beat: Leeds, Burnley, Southampton, Newcastle. If you're going to finish 4th, you need to beat those teams. Plus, you need to beat the boys who are going to finish above you: Man City, Liverpool, whoever. So, in terms of consistency, if Everton can carry on as they are, if Everton can pick up, if Leicester won the title and they had 30 points at this stage, Everton have 1 point less than that at this stage, and that was on the same amount of games. Now, I'm not saying Everton are going to win the title, but what Leicester managed to do was go really consistent for the tail end of the season, of that season. If Everton can be as consistent as that, Everton will challenge the top 4. If we can be okay like we are, then I think we'll finish 5th, because I do not see people like Leicester, Southampton. I don't see them being consistent enough. We saw Leicester lose at home to Everton, Villa. Yes, Everton have had a blip with Leeds, but Leeds have played well against some big teams. They've played well against you guys. They've played well against Liverpool. Leeds will take points off people. Leicester have just fallen apart. But then they've also got results against teams like Spurs. So again, are Spurs going to be consistent enough? So if Everton can be consistent, the top 4 is not out of it. But I think Everton will finish 5th. And if you'd have offered me a quarter final in the Carabao Cup, a quarter final in the FA Cup, and a 5th place finish, I'd have snapped your hand off at the start of the season, because this is a transition season for Everton. We're going to be good next season and the season after. We're not this season.
There you go, Cal. Answer Chris. Leicester and keeper, you've got Pickford.
He's shit. He's dreadful. I'm better than Pickford.
I'll be honest. I think he's garbage.
He's so inconsistent. It's unbelievable.
Agreed.
Do I answer your question, Andy?
Go on.
Yeah, where I think we'll finish. I think I said, I came on here a few months ago and I said I'd be happy with 7th. But it's like Ancelotti, he somewhat gets a bit angry when someone says 7th. He doesn't want, Ancelotti said he doesn't want 7th. He doesn't want.
Yeah, but this is the thing now. You're becoming greedy.
Yeah,
because the way
I want
And
top
that's natural. That's natural.
Yeah.
You're second now. You're going, oh, no, I don't want anything below fifth. I don't want anything below fourth. I don't want... You've got it. This is a long season.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
loads of games
There's
still
still a
to
long
go.
time left. There's a 3-4
And
months left.
To be fair, Cal, sorry to butt in, but you are absolutely spot on, because Ancelotti, in his first press conference this season, when people said, what realistically is your aim? Carlo Ancelotti come out and said, we want to finish top of the Premier League. That is a mentality that Everton fans, mediocre Everton fans, have accepted for far too long, being a club that is nowhere near where they should be. You know, no disrespect to Manchester City, but before Sheikh Mansour, they were nothing. Before Mashiri, we were nothing. We were average. We were bang average. And now Everton have got to do what Man City have done and turn that into positivity and turning it into being a top team again. And the fans, you are spot on, Andy. We're getting greedy because we want that bloody success.
But that's natural. That happens when you have investment. You've got Mashiri now putting money into the club and things like that. And now, if you were 7th or 8th, you'd be going, well, we are where we should be. But because of the way that Ancelotti has built the team and the way, and I keep saying it, it is early days. I even say this about Man City. It is very early days.
Yeah.
There's so much. One thing I was looking at your fixtures and against ours, and I do think it's something that will help you. And this is the thing, when you become a club that gets into the Champions League squads, you know, top 4, we've got Chelsea on the 3rd of Jan. Then the 6th of Jan, we've got United in the Carabao Cup. And then the 10th of Jan, we've got Birmingham in the FA Cup. You've got the 1st of Jan, you've got West Ham. Then the 9th of Jan, so 8 days later, you've got Rotherham in the FA Cup, which means a big load of resting for your players. And then 3 days later, you've got Wolves away. So the difference between when you're a club that, and albeit I know we've got a much bigger squad and things and spent more money than Everton and all that type of garbage. But, you know, these anomalies happen when teams who get themselves a really good team together, a good team spirit and things like that, get into that top 4 and get a bit of momentum. When they're not in the Champions League, and if they're not in another competition, like the Carabao Cup, you've only got the FA Cup, haven't you, and the Premier League, then suddenly you can focus solely on those. And you've got 8 days rest there between West Ham and playing Rotherham at home, which you can rest half your team for that.
And we need it.
11 days rest.
Yeah, we need it, Andy. We need it. Carl's about to say what I think you are going to say, so I'm just going to say, you know, in the last 10 days, Everton have played Chelsea, Leicester, Arsenal in 7 days. Then they played Man United.
Yeah.
And 2 days later, we're playing yesterday against Sheffield United away. Yes, that's an easier game, but a tough game. Now 2 days later, we're playing Man City. Everton need a break. We've played 6 games in, I think it's 12 days or 14 days. And
so
it's tough for a team, a squad as tight as Everton. You're spot on, Andy.
It is, and you will need that break. I mean, because your squad is obviously not as big as ours, but
quality.
These are the anomalies that happen when teams can. It's certainly from the start of the season to December, the end of December, can do really well, and they can be in or there or thereabouts. If you're out of, like, which you are, you're out of the Carabao Cup. You've only got the FA Cup and the Premier League to focus on, which means when the likes of City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, United, Tottenham, all the others are in competitions, and you know City go all in for the 4 competitions. We always rotate. We don't play 10 kids and things like that. It'll be the rotational squad. They're all involved in it. They're the times that you can pick up points off the big guys moving into March. Hit March, that's your time. You need to be there or thereabouts in March If you're not, you're never going to catch up. You're simply not, because the big teams rotate because they know March is coming and they've got the Champions League and things. So they're ready to go in the running. And we're notoriously strong in the running. We always have been for the last number of years. But very quick, Cal.
I didn't get to say where realistically where I'd like to finish. I think same as Mike, fifth. I'll be dead quick. I think we'll do a Leicester. I think we'll be top 4 until March, April, and then I think when it comes to having them legs, then them very extra legs, I think we'll slip off because we don't have a lot of quality on the bench.
Unless you're buying Jam.
We'll have to buy 7.
Well, Jesus. Even if you buy three or four players in Jan, even if it's not necessarily about buying brilliant players, it's about giving that squad depth that you can. It's the rotation thing where you can go into lesser games and still get a 1-0 win with lesser players. It gives you your Calvert-Lewins and as a rest. It's that running. If you're not prepared for that running and you've not been there before, obviously Ancelotti has been there in the Premier League a number of times. That running will kill you. Absolutely. Kill you, unless you've got a big squad or you've got, a good rotational squad. Right, Tom, a question for Tom about Man City from one of you two guys.
Who's going to ask it? Yeah, do you know, what are your expectations for this season? Because obviously last year, I think for most City fans, it was a very poor. Maybe even for domestic-wise, you still came home with 2 cups, Community Shield and Carabao Cup. But obviously, you want to win the league, I think, every single year. And you had a pretty bad title defence last year, losing the league by 18 points to the red shite. Do you think, what are your expectations this year?
To be honest, I don't really see. I don't take anything for granted with our club. I always, we've always been a club that's shown passion throughout the leagues for many years, no matter before we had money or not. So yeah, I think that we can do well again this season. We've made our defence stronger over the summer, and I think that will look good for us over the year because the defence has let us down, but we just need to score a few more goals and create a few more chances. And if we put them away, then I can't see why we can't. Obviously, if we win tomorrow. Liverpool drew today. We're only 6 points behind them, a game in hand. We win tomorrow. We're 3 points behind them. So
you didn't really concede that much though last season. That's something I've not when you look, people made out you conceded 80 goals. You didn't, but I think every goal you conceded, maybe 1 or 2 goals, were down to poor and silly mistakes. Yeah, they were down to mistakes that could have easily been stopped. I remember the one against us when I think it was a 2-1 at the Etihad when I think Bravo dropped the ball. And then it came out to Richarlison, and Richarlison, Moise Keane tried an overhead kick or something, and then Richarlison put it in. So I think the defence has improved a lot. No, do you think you can win the Champions League or the Premier League or do you think you can win that? Do you think you have the squad to win the Premier League and the Champions League?
I really do, yeah. But I think we can. We're looking good in the Champions League this year. The problems in the Champions League were defensively. Last season when we went out against Lyon, we set up tactically wrong, but. I can see us winning the Champions League this year if we just, if Pep wants it, you can tell, we were unbeaten in the group stages. A lot of people were slagging off our group saying that there weren't any good teams, but I thought out of teams overall, I think we had 3 tough sides to go and beat. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But I definitely think we can win the Champions League or the Premier League this year. We definitely have the team to do so.
Ivor says our club has never been nothing. You might think so. Obviously a comment from somebody else. You might think so little of Everton because you win cock all, but my club was never nothing. That's levels of support for you. So anyone who supports the club.
I think the difference is, and what I was alluding to was the fact that in terms of where football is now, it's very different.
I don't think that's a go at. I don't think that's a go at you. I think it might be a go at some of the comments that we haven't put up all the comments.
No, I think it was me because I said before you guys got the money, we were nothing. And in terms of Premier League and in terms of winning trophies, I don't know the last time Man City won a trophy before you got the money, and we haven't won a trophy in 25 years. So, we are big clubs. Historically, we are big clubs, but I think there has to be rationale behind. You go from being a big club to not being a big club. And at the times of the takeover, we were not.
Yeah, but I don't buy into the big club thing anyway. I think it's
I agree with you. But
it's a nonsensical argument.
I want to see trophies.
Yeah, everyone will argue against what's big and what's not, and what defines big and all that type of nonsense. So I don't go in for the big club thing, because you can have 78,000 like Man United, and not win much in the last 10 years, or you can be a little club like City who have consistently 54,500 every game, and dominate cup competitions, Premier Leagues, things like that. So I mean, I don't buy into the big club argument.
Yeah, I do understand what Mike meant though, because compared to the other teams, I guess when it comes to before, obviously we'd had a successful era in the 60s, the 80s, but Jesus, I don't know about you, Mike, but I wasn't even alive when I've never seen Everton win a cup. I've never really seen Everton challenge for a top.
I have, because Everton in the 80s were a superb team, absolutely superb.
City, I think you had your big period, I think in the 60s or the 70s. I think it was the 60s when you won two leagues, I think, on the bounce. But I know for me, I don't care if we win a trophy personally, because I love my club. Even if we went down to League Two, I'd still support us. I'd still love the club. But
that's the way it should be.
We want to, obviously, you want to win, because I think when we look at what Liverpool are winning, and it's like it hurts, because we want to be that good. We want to be winning trophy. We want to leave something.
But it's the Liverpool point. They haven't won the league in 30 years. So
exactly.
For me, we can harp on about the fact Everton have won 9 league titles and the 4th most successful team in English football as much as we want. But when did we do that? Well, I tell you when. Before I was born. I'm 28 years old. My dad saw us win trophies. My granddad saw us win trophies, but I haven't. And I want that period that Man City had now managed to achieve at Everton Football Club. So are we a big club? Historically, yes. Are we as right now? No. Revenue-wise, we're 7th. In terms of trophies, we haven't won one in 25 years. We need to take a step back and appreciate where we're going rather than where we are.
Yeah, that's spot on, and that's what we did, Tom, didn't we? When we got the investment. I mean, and I'll be honest with you, there'll be some City fans on here that will go, you can keep all your trophies and everything else. I wish I was back at Main Road and blah 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 blah, and on the road in the second division. So it is what it is. You guys, if the money is spent well, and the club infrastructure is done really well, then it will happen. It will happen with investment. It will happen. Yeah, I mean,
from the board.
Yeah, I know, but you listen, Cal. You cannot honestly sit here now after all of your lifetime watching Everton, and you're currently 2nd in the Premier League. Have any complaints about what's happening so far with Everton?
No, I don't. But the only
you can't do.
I know. But the problem is Mike said it before, and it was perfect. And he said it on stream earlier. Ancelotti was out of a job 4 years ago, 4 years ago. This could have been done by the board 3 years ago.
But it didn't. It didn't.
Yeah, true.
You've got it now. You've got it.
Yeah.
Now. That's like we could have got Pep Guardiola before he went to Bayern Munich.
True.
Yeah. But we got Pellegrini and won 2 Premier League titles and 2 Carabao Cups.
Yeah. So
swings and roundabouts, eh, lads?
It is. It's one of those. You've got to enjoy what is happening right now with the club, not about what could have been in the past. You're currently lying 2nd in the Premier League.
Yeah.
With a great squad. All right. You've got a good first 11. Your squad can be improved on, possibly in January. So my next question to you is your lineup for tomorrow. So I'm going to come to Mike. Give me your lineup. Then I'm going to go to Tom for his, and then we'll quickly, very, very quickly go through.
Yeah, I'll just go straight through mine. Pickford in goal. Left back will be Godfrey. Mina, Keane. On the right, it will be Holgate. I suspect Davies will be fit after he walked off with a bit of a knock. So Davies, Decore and Sigurdsson. I suspect Bernard will start on the left if Richarlison's not available following his concussion check. Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front and Iwobi on the right. Everton will set up with a flat back four. They'll play an alternative 4-5-1 to 4-3-3, depending on the transition to defence and attack. Tom Davies will sit as the pivot. And that's pretty much it.
Pivot, not double pivot. Please don't say that
Just
word.
one pivot. Just Tom Davies in the middle.
Pivot. It's not basketball. Yeah. We have it with double pivots and all that garbage nonsense. Bloody. Honestly, double pivot. Who came up with that terminology? To get smack off me if you ever came. Telling you now. Right. Okay. Would you change anything, Cal, with the Everton team? Go on then, very quickly.
I'd have Olsen in goal.
Just who?
Just do the whole lineup.
No, just who? Who would you change from mine?
Oh, I'd take Pickford out.
Sit up, you lazy bugger. Hey, kids these days, Jesus, sit up.
I'd take Pickford out because I think I couldn't trust. I said this. I can't trust him. I do not trust him in a game like City. Olsen's looked reliable whenever we've played him. Yeah, he had a few shaky moments against United, but that was because we decided to play out from the back, which we can never do very well. It's Everton. But I think Olsen in goal, and then I'd probably take out Sigurdsson. No, I just don't want Sigurdsson playing against City because he doesn't do well against City. I'd take him out and put Gordon in.
Okay, Tom, what's our lineup for tomorrow? And then I'll give you mine.
For us, I think it'll be Edison in goal. I think Cancelo will be at right back.
Yep.
I think it'll be two centre backs of Diaz and Laporte. I think Stonesy will be benched based on the fact we've got two big games coming up after that. I think it'll be Mendy at left back.
Okay.
I think after seeing how he played for 30 minutes, I think it'll be Fernandinho in CDM. I think he'll play Foden and De Bruyne just in front of that. And then I think up front he'll play Mahrez on the right, Aguero up front, and Ferran Torres on the left. I don't think he'll play Sterling. I don't think.
Okay. Well, you've got different to me on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players. My lineup would be Eddie in net, Cancelo right back. I think it'll be John Stones and Laporte. I think Diaz might get a rest. I think Nathan Ake will keep his position at left back. Yeah. I've gone for Rodri as the holder, with KDB and Gundogan ahead of him. Mahrez on the right, Sterling on the left, and Aguero up front. But that is what I think Pep will pick. Not what I pick.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Like that for us.
Nobody has a clue. Yeah. Nobody has a clue what Pep's going to pick.
Nobody has an idea.
It's like that with Ancelotti. He changes his team every week.
But that's the way it is. I mean, the difference is that I've said it before. I think Pep is going pragmatic approach towards the Champions League, and I think he's going to rotate and use these players, and I think he's going to just give them game time slowly, and things like that. But Martin has gone for Edison, Cancelo, Diaz, Stones, so we don't think Laporte's coming in. Mendy, he thinks Mendy will be back. Fernandinho, he thinks will retain his place. Foden, KDB, Torres, Foden starting. What? You've got faith in Foden? KDB, Torres, Aguero, Mahrez. There you go. Right. Mahrez isn't a player for a battle like Everton.
He always scores against them, though, doesn't he?
He does. He always causes us problems.
I'm with you, Ronnie, but I'm thinking about what Pep will play, not who I would play. I would swap Mahrez for Pickford in the January.
So would we.
Scored the winner last season, says Ronnie. Pass, goal, bye. Everton, says Big Morgan. He thinks Edison, Eke, Diaz, Laporte, Cancelo, Rodri, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Torres, Foden, Mahrez.
Yeah.
Very quickly, Cal.
Very quick. Just to that comment, you can say pass, but I don't think we've played any of the big teams where we've had more possession than them. We let them have the ball, and against a team like Arsenal, I know Arsenal nowhere near as good as City, but they had the ball and they couldn't create. Tottenham had the ball and they couldn't create. Same with Chelsea and Leicester. They just couldn't get past that flat four. Them four centre backs, they couldn't get past.
Man City have got to be brilliant in midfield to break down the flat back four. And if they do, then they deserve to win. But
Yeah.
honestly, I've got real confidence that Everton will hit you on the break.
We'll swap Sterling for Peter Reid. There you go. There's the typical Man City bit of humour. Right, finally, before we go, score prediction. So I'm going to come to Cal first.
It's the hardest prediction probably this season because, again, it depends on what City turns up. For me, if it's the version that we know and I think most neutral fans love, the quick passing and that, I think it could be a 2-0 or 3-0 City. But I think if you just come up the way you have been this season, where you are lacking chances and creativity and goals, I think it could be a 1-1 or we could turn you over. And I'm not just saying that as a deluded Everton fan. We could beat you. 1-0 is what I think. I think we could get an early goal early on. For
No. I'm not asking you what you think could happen. I'm asking you what is your score prediction.
My heart says 1-0 Everton, but my head says 3-1 City.
Oof, God, that's a bit of a difference, Mike. 1-1. You're going for a draw. Yeah. Tom?
I think it'll be 2-0 City. I reckon we'll keep our clean sheet form up.
Bit solid. It'll be interesting tomorrow. It's a good thing because you're up against Calvert-Lewin, who's done really, really well. So I think it's a big test for our centre backs and Cancelo. Sorry, Tom. I think it'll be a big test tomorrow for Cancelo. Different than playing brilliant against Newcastle. I think you'll see, unlike yesterday, where he was playing in almost like an 8 role rather than a right back. I think he'll have to be on his mettle and he'll have to defend well tomorrow. Be interested to see who plays at left back. Will Mendy come back? I don't know. Not heard from Mendy for God knows how long.
No.
But I was impressed with Ake. I thought Ake was super solid yesterday, albeit Newcastle. So I'm going to go 2-1. I'm going to go 2-1 City. I think it'll be I think how many 2-1s I've seen? I think I've seen 2-1s. Last time I was there. I think it'll be a tight. It's always a tight game.
Yeah.
Crowd's there or not. I think it'll be a tight game. And I think we might just squeak it 2-1. But listen, if you guys get a point or you guys get 3 points tomorrow, you're right in it. You are right in it going into the new year, and it's over to you guys then. But finally, before I go to the comments, just to finish this vlog, have you got any other questions for me and Tom? Oh, well, to Tom, not me.
Yeah. If you could take one player from Everton, not excluding Digne, because we all love Digne. In the words of Mike, he's a beautiful, beautiful human being. Is Lucas Digne? He's never leaving. If you could take one player from Everton, who would it be?
Probably Calvert-Lewin, because he's a good goal scorer, and
Would you not take Richarlison?
No. No. I'd rather have Calvert-Lewin than Richarlison. I think there's something about Richarlison.
Yeah, I would.
If he doesn't get his own way, I can see him being a very big trouble causer, and we don't like that at City. Yeah. So I'd much prefer Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, I'd do the same. I'd have Calvert-Lewin over Richarlison every day of the week.
What about James?
No, we don't. He's not as good as any of our midfielders. So
I've always said he's the most overrated player I've seen, and I'll stand by it. I think he's a flash in the pan player. James for you is what Mahrez is for me.
He's a lot better for me.
Is a one game brilliant.
He's
average.
See, I think Mike would agree is when Calvert-Lewin and James are playing together, Calvert-Lewin 9 out of 10 times is guaranteed a goal. But when James isn't there, we don't get we go from creating 6-7 chances a game with James to 1 or 2. It completely nullifies our attack when James isn't there. He can put a ball in that Sigurdsson can't even make a 4-yard pass, but James can put a ball into the box that can change a game. For me, he's our most technically gifted player without a doubt. But yeah, I think he's class. I think he's amazing.
Yeah, well, it's all about opinions, isn't it? Come and join us for the live watch along, guys. 7:40 start and post match as well afterwards. 10:30. There you go. Chris says, "Good luck to the Toffees." Not tomorrow, mind. Chris, what score tomorrow, bud? He says 2-1 to us, so he agrees with me. Eugene, I think BCL will boss against Man City and score for Everton tomorrow night. Don't be surprised if that happens. I think 3-1 Man City. Andy, come on. Man City, sweet as Budweiser. No idea what that means. Martin says, screw it. I'm saying 3-0 City. God, Martin, language. There we go. Ronnie says, I'd like to see James Hammers play without quality forwards.
To be fair,
boys, you're welcome. Sorry, Chris. Yeah, I mean, it's one of. I've said it to you. I think he's a massively hyped up player.
Yeah, he is.
I'd take 2 or 3 Everton players over Hammers every single day.
I think it's the. I agree. I think on the terms he was likened to after that World Cup to be an elite level. But I think for us, we haven't seen a player. I think that's maybe where certainly our fan bases, our 2 fan bases might get when we come to comparing our players. We definitely get confused. Jesus, if you don't have a De Bruyne, you have a Gundogan, a Phil Foden, a Bernardo Silva. We haven't seen a player like James who can ping the ball, can score like that for a long time.
You had Jack Rodwell. What are you on about? He was class for you.
Yeah, he was. Right, okay. Let's just see if there's any other comments. Martin says, thanks to the lads for coming on. Much appreciated. Great to see Carl back on. Thanks for coming on, Mike, too. There you go, from Chris. Because Torres has 3 Premier League goals this season. Great skill trips and looks very positive. 60 million, 60 million, 60 million, 60 million. I don't know what that's about. Is that James Rodriguez? Is that how much he cost?
He was free.
Was he? Oh, well, it can't be about that then. Everton FL says you'll win 3-1. There you go. Told you, Cal. What was that? Told you, Cal. Every top team has binned him off.
That's yeah, he played like
apart from the Champions League winning Bayern Munich.
I know. That's Martin. Throw it. He's throwing a grenade at Cal.
I think Foden should go on loan. So.
But anyway, it's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a tough game. Tom, any final words?
No, just thanks for you two coming on. It's been good to have a good chat with you and hear other fans' opinions. It's good to obviously speak to lads who are obviously going to be playing tomorrow. So yeah, all the best tomorrow. Obviously not too much, and obviously all the best for the season too. And obviously up the City as always.
Same to you too, but to up the Toffees on the other end.
Absolutely. Listen, Mike, do you want to give a shout out to your YouTube channel?
Yeah, to be fair, I've been reading through the comments. A lot of the guys have already subscribed, so I just want to say massive shout out to the guys that have followed me over. And yeah, it's the Blue Boys Network. I'm confident you would know. So come over if you're new, subscribe, and I promise we'll be very entertaining. However, for the sake of your channel, make sure you watch their watch along, not ours. Don't watch our watch along. Watch theirs tomorrow, but then join us for ours after.
Don't worry about it, mate. We're not desperate. We're not desperate for subscribers. We like subscribers, but we're not one of those channels that crave for it. Cal,
thanks for having me on. And again, if we're not, I don't know if we will be, but if we're fighting for top 4 and you're fighting for the title against the Red Shite, hopefully you can take it off them because we don't want them horrible bastards getting the league again. But again, good luck to the season. And
unless we do it, Cal. Unless we do it. Remember
unless we do it.
Well, I think this is a good final comment to end on before we go, and I think this suits both of us. Martin says, as always, up the Blues. So yeah. I think that's perfect. But guys, this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. That's your preview for tomorrow night's game, Man City versus Everton. It's going to be a cracker. It's always a tough game. And I'm just gutted that I'm not at Goodison Park because I love that stadium. I absolutely love your old stadium. It's brilliant. It's rickety. It's a traditional old stadium. Even if you have to peer behind columns and things like that, I love that stadium. It really is. So, guys, Good luck, Tom. Thank you very much, mate, for coming on.
No worries. Good to be on again.
Cal, all the best, buddy, for tomorrow.
You too.
And Mike, good luck with the channel.
Cheers, bud. Thank you, mate.
You're all, if you want to subscribe to Mike's channel, Blue Boys Network, it's in the description below this video. But this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. That's your preview for tomorrow's game. Don't forget, join Martin tomorrow night for the live watch along, and there'll be post-match stuff going on as well. And maybe Cal, Mike, depending on the score. I'm sure if Everton win, Cal will be all over it. But he'll disappear if City win.
I'll go in the hole.
Yeah, come over and watch us tomorrow night at I think 7:40. Martin said. But take care. Don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon. Don't forget, make sure your settings are set to public, not private. That way, you'll be notified when a new video posted every single day on Man City Fan TV. But take care. Hope you had a brilliant Christmas, and we're into sort of the new year running, and there are tons and tons of games coming up, and we'll be all over them. But anyway, take care. Thanks to the guys. Thanks to Tom. Thanks to Cal. Thanks to Mike. See you soon. Nearly burnt.